Meghan Markle's new series with Love Meghan is about to drop tomorrow. And we are getting a bit of a sneak peek via People magazine about what the series is going to hold. And I've got to tell you guys right now, I can feel my brain cells dying. Yes, I can. Because at one point, Mindy Kaling calls Meghan Markle, and she goes, "Oh, I'm Sussex now." And apparently, people would be shocked that she used to eat at Jack in the Box. Oh my gosh, who can believe that Meghan Markle used to eat at Jack in the Box? It's so dumb. And then we have another sneak peek video of Meghan Markle making a rainbow fruit tray because apparently no one ever thought of that before. And we needed Meghan Markle to tell us that the grass is green and the sky is blue and that fruit are bright colors that can be made into a rainbow. Shocking. I know. This is going to be a bunch of vacuous nonsense. And there's a whole People magazine article to go over that she gave an exclusive interview to, but there's also these little bits that I want to focus on first. I may try to do 2 videos today. We're really going to be powering through because there is so much to talk about here, so much to read between the lines. And I just think when I read some of this stuff, I'm like, Netflix, seriously? Put this all together for $100 million? Seriously? Seriously? Because this stuff is just asinine. It's dumb. It's literally killing your brain cells. It's so like dumb. I'm sorry. Like there is nothing I don't think of value to get from really any of this. And we're going to go into it and I'm going to explain to you why I think that is, going over a couple different things. We'll probably do a separate video with the longer People magazine article. So buckle up, guys. It's going to be fun. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, hello, my name is Brittany. I provide you compelling royal commentary. So please hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you back. And I do want to make an announcement for tomorrow for Meghan Markle's show launch. So I will be doing 2 live streams tomorrow. So one will be episodes 1 and 2 for everyone. So you don't have to watch Netflix. You can literally watch me react to it. You won't be able to maybe hear it. I may turn it on at some bits. So we shall see how it goes. But this is the easiest way for people to get a sense of the amazing joy it is to listen to Meghan Markle. And then there will be a special, just members only live streams for episodes 3 through 8. Because I found last time, and I was traveling, so it just probably wouldn't have worked. But I yelled at the screen one time for the polo series because they repeated that this guy is the best polo player for the 50th time. And I've yelled at the screen, I know that. Tell me something else. So we shall get a lot of head shaking, a lot of like grimacing, a lot of laughing, probably not at the intended effect, but because it sounds dumb. This literally sounds just like a dumb series that has no value to pretty much anything. Maybe you'll pick up some hosting tips, but honestly, it seems just shallow and devoid of any further meaning, which is not a surprise from Meghan Markle because I've always said I believe she is shallow, vain, and vapid. And I think this series proves that. So we are going to get into the fun. So we will begin though with the new sneak peek that we got from Meghan. Because, we need the new sneak peek. We need to see her create a rainbow out of fruit because nobody has ever done that before. Don't forget, we don't know the sky is blue because Meghan Markle's going to tell us that. Yes, I'm being sarcastic for a reason, though. Let's get into it. And again, guys, I have to give my hand or tip my hat to Netflix. They're actually trying this time. They're actually trying to. They're trying to make this stuff work. They really are. Bless them. They're trying to make her likable. It's not working. You can see right now we have 1,500 dislikes to 300 likes because this is dumb. And I think it's funny that for the sneak peek, they showed this and not her. That tells you a lot right there. That Netflix knows that she can't sell this. They know she is highly unlikable. They're hoping that maybe, just maybe, people see the beautiful fruit display and don't see the woman who's making it because they know people don't like her. But let's, again, get into it.
You see where our rainbow is coming together here?
And yes, Meghan, because we all know the colors of rainbows. And that fruit is bright colors and could be made into a rainbow.
You don't have to do a big platter of this. You could do this with one small row for your kids for breakfast, genuinely. And it makes the morning a lot more fun.
Well, if you have time, Meghan Markle, I think other people have big boy and big girl jobs that require them not to make a rainbow out of their kids' fruit in the morning. They probably just shove a box of cereal on top of the kitchen counter, get the kids eating, and get them out the door because that's how real people live. This, to me, was going to be the problem with Meghan Markle's series is that she comes across, and it's funny because whoever is behind the camera, which I would assume is a camera guy producer, almost like corrects her and goes, he's like, for Saturday. And she's like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think she meant for Saturday because she has nothing else she's doing really. Like she's attempting to start a business, but we all know she's putting in minimal effort because we see it play out as minimal effort. That's why you have all these stupid mistakes she's making. These are not growing opportunities, as she says. This is dumb things that should not be happening if you're a competent business person. And yes, you can do this for your kids. That's sweet. But do you have time? Is that a reality in a normal American's life? And do you have time? Like what is happening with all this fruit? Is she just wasting it so she can make this big display?
But can I just show you if you just made one? Just like
It's like can I show you how you can make just one? That's like dumb. Like, are we not smart enough to figure out how to make that smaller size? It's kind of dumb. She should have actually started out with a smaller thing if that was the point. This is just so dumb.
Yes.
just a little morning plate.
And so she's cutting the raspberries in half with her, $20,000 over here on her wrist. Like, is a normal person, a normal mom doing this in the morning? I think she even cuts the blueberries in half.
There's a real delight in being able to be a present parent. And it's a luxury sometimes because we all have to work.
Does she really, though? Does she really work that much? She gets to work from home. She gets so many things taken care of for her. It's not just that she gets to be a present parent, is that she has all the luxuries in the world to hire help so she can be at home and be with the kids at the same time. There's a complete and utter disconnect there with her saying, oh, I get to be a present parent. It's so nice, even though we all have to work. No, we don't work like you, Meghan Markle. We don't live in a $15 million mansion having every need we have met constantly. No. We don't have that. Why don't we have that? Well, because we don't have the money. She's totally disconnected from the average person, and it shows.
We all have a lot of stuff to do, but when you can take a minute to just...
Saturday morning.
I love that. She's like, when you can just take a minute. And I think she means every day. And he goes, Saturday morning. He's like trying to help her. He's like, this is something maybe parents on Saturday morning can do. But even then, a lot of activities happen on Saturday morning. You're going to a little league thing or a soccer thing or whatever. You have a lot of activities in the morning. Maybe they're doing gymnastics, like a whole bunch of different things could be happening. Do you have time there? Because, do you have all the time in the world to sit there and cut the raspberries and the blueberries just perfectly so you can create them in a rainbow? No, I would doubt that's a reality for most parents. I would doubt it. Yeah. She has no clue. She's oblivious. She's so oblivious. And you just see it there. She just goes, yeah. She's oblivious. She's so oblivious to the realities of real people that that was going to be, I knew this was going to be the problem with this series. Look, she cut the blueberries in half. She cut the grapes, and she's making this all perfectly. Who has time for that if you have two kids screaming at you in the morning and a husband and a dog or whatever? You have the time to do this. If you have a million other people taking care of all those little things, and you get to have all the time in the world. This is an obscenely wealthy woman who thinks an average person can do this on the daily. She's completely blind to her own wealth and privilege in many ways. And that is why this show is not going to land. People are just going to get annoyed by the overt displays of wealth that she's not indulging, because Gwyneth Paltrow is aware of how absurd she is. And she plays into that. Meghan Markle is not aware of how absurd she is. So she's going to rub people the wrong way because she's not aware enough to realize her own ridiculousness.
Finding the fun in those moments makes for a really sweet start to the weekend.
I just don't understand. What are you talking about? A sweet moment so you can create this. This is going to be a sweet moment. No, it's not about the presentation. It's not about this looking perfect. It's about connecting with your children. Yes, this is cute, but the children won't remember this. I don't remember really the meals my mom made, but do I remember and love that she used to write little notes to me on my paper towels and put them in my lunchbox for me to find? I loved that. But I don't remember what she put in the lunchbox. because that wasn't important. Her sweet message of love in a note meant infinitely more to me than the food itself. And yes, this presentation is lovely, but does a child care? No, no. And you got to think here, is she more worried about the presentation of the fruit than she is with connecting with her child? And yes, it's a sweet thing to do. It gets the kids engaged. I get that. But you see something that looks beautiful. However, you're not sure if the real thing is happening behind the scenes, which really matters, which is connection between other human beings. It's not about the fruit on the plate, it's about the conversations you're having.
We could do a little dollop of yogurt as our clouds.
I mean, it's cute. I'll give her that. But I mean, really, are kids gonna? I'm just curious. Are kids gonna engage with this that much? I mean, it's pretty, but it's almost sometimes feel like something more an adult likes to look at rather than something a child will necessarily enjoy. I mean, I'm sure they enjoy like happy faces on pancakes and stuff like that.
Flour sprinkles.
So yes, she all of a sudden goes. And this is a moment where I think Meghan made a huge mistake here and is showing her obscene wealth and privilege. Because what she should have done is gotten regular rainbow sprinkles anybody can get at the supermarket. Because that makes her, even though this display, you could say, is sort of overtly wealthy and just a bit ridiculous and over to the top. If she dolloped it with the rainbow sprinkles you and I can buy for $2 at the supermarket, that can make it approachable for an average parent. But no, she goes and gets dried flowers to put on top. And I'm like, no parent is going to do that. That's insane. That's insane. So literally, as she's doing this thing that's supposedly supposed to sort of bring it down to the average person, she immediately goes and does something obscene and is not aware of that. I think to make this work, she needed to get, I would argue, regular sprinkles, Meghan Markle. You can do regular sprinkles. You can even put them in the special shaker, but they needed to be regular sprinkles. And yes, that might seem like a little thing, but if you're a mom and let's say you're living on a $30,000 a year salary, you can barely make ends meet, and you see this obscenely wealthy woman going, oh, put your fruit in this display, put the dollops of yogurt here, and then sprinkle it with flowers, you're going to turn off the TV. You're going to turn it off because that's not reality. That's not real people. And she's coming across as an obscenely wealthy woman who's not aware of how wealthy she is in some ways. Like she is, but she isn't, if that makes sense.
If we must.
No, we don't actually need to, Meghan Markle.
It doesn't need to be big for a party. It's how you incorporate these practices every day.
Like, who does that every day, though? Who does either of those things every day? Every day. Like, most average parents would put the fruit on the platter, cut it a little bit, and say, good to go. They're not going to cut everything and make it all. No, they don't have time for that. Even on the weekends, they don't really have time for that. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to be bad. I can feel my brain cells dying, but it gets worse. So they're showing you the little preview, but it gets even better. It gets even better because we have an exclusive from People Magazine going over the series. And yes, there's a different article with a bunch of things Meghan talks about, but I want to talk about this one. Because if you were hoping at some point Meghan Markle would reveal a greater depth to herself, oh, you will be sadly mistaken. So this is the most revealing moments from Meghan Markle's With Love, Meghan's Netflix series exclusive. I'm sure she was so mad they didn't use Meghan Sussex because she made a big deal about it. So let's go ahead and see our brain cells begin to die. So it kind of goes over little bits. And then we got This Thing Killed Me. In the second episode, Meghan welcomes Mindy Kaling as they talk about the kids' parties, but the talk turns to their own childhoods. People wouldn't believe that Meghan Markle ate a Jack in the Box, Kaling said at one point, prompting Meghan to point out, it's so funny too that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know, I'm Sussex now. So much to unpack there. So much to unpack there. Number one, it's asinine of Mindy Kaling to say, oh, I can't believe you ate a Jack in the Box. That's stupid. I'm sorry, but that is stupid. You sound stupid. You sound like a wealthy, privileged woman who is surprised that a normal person or any person doesn't go to Jack in the Box. Like, even wealthy people go to In-N-Out Burger. Like, why in the world are you surprised that she went to stinking Jack in the Box? Who cares? A cheap meal is a cheap meal. If it's good, it's good. Wealthy people still go to McDonald's. Like, come on. That's just insane. And I like blame Mindy Kaling for that. She sounds really out of touch. She sounds really out of touch. And then Meghan, she is not happy to still be called Meghan Markle. I'm Sussex now. You know I'm Sussex now, right? Right. I would love to see sort of that reaction in that moment because she wasn't happy. But Meghan, don't worry. We will all continue to call you Meghan Markle because she did the incredibly stupid thing of leaving the royal family after a year and a half. So the Duchess of Sussex title didn't stick. We all think you're still Meghan Markle because you're proved that all you are is Meghan Markle. So I just thought that was insane. And she did some other things here, but we'll at least save that for a different video. This is funny. It says at another point in the Kaling episode, the Office actress asks Meghan about her look. After some confusion, Kaling clarifies that the Duchess of Sussex's fashion is one of my favorite things. Meghan explains that she likes high-low. Sure, Meghan, sure. Sure. Revealing she was wearing pants from Zara, a shirt by Italian luxury brand Loro Piana, and a sweater from California designer Jenny Kane. It's really cute. Okay, so, all you care about is the fashion. Now, granted, I do have a Royal Fashion channel, Royal Fashion News, because I do like fashion. There's nothing particularly wrong with that, but it's sort of dumb. And Meghan saying that she's like high-low is a bit ridiculous because sometimes she's decked out in stuff worth tens of thousands of dollars. And so for her to say she likes high-low is such a lie. I mean, she had a Sayonara Zara party at one point because she wanted to get rid of Zara. She's trying to ameliorate that luxury image a bit, trying to make her a bit approachable because real royals do high-low. Meghan Markle doesn't do that, but real royals do. Real royals do. And they pull it off and they look very, very elegant. Whereas Meghan buys things just because of the luxury label and then ends up looking a little silly, like her Hermes bomber jacket, which I still stand by. It's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen and was $3,000 plus for an ugly Hermes bomber jacket. So she can buy a Hermes Birkin at some point. That was because you have to actually build up credit within the company. Like you have to buy products before you're offered a Birkin. I was like, okay, so she decided to buy the ugly bomber jacket, which she could get like the same thing for like $100 and have it look better. It's just a little bit of a ridiculous thing some people wealthy do. Like they buy things just because of the label attached, not because it's actually good looking. So they talk about Suits and Kaling, who is also on a long-running series. And one thing you and I have in common is we were both on TV shows for a long time, Mindy says. Oh my goodness. Wow, you guys have so much in common. You guys really have nothing else to talk about? Meghan confirms Suits ran for 7 years. I'm on a series. This is all I want, Meghan recalls. Health insurance and steady paycheck. Yes, consistency. Okay. It says, asked about relocating for the show, Meghan admits, okay, 1 season in Toronto, amazing. 2 seasons, okay, is my life going to be in this other place now? But she embraced it. Thankfully, I love Canada, and I've always tried to invite the cast over or people I'd meet at the dog park, neighbors. I love making friends. She has no friends from Canada. She has lost all her friends from Canada. Like, I don't believe her. I really, really don't believe her. And when it comes to Suits, she's like, I'm not surprised people are rediscovering it because it was so well written and so well produced. It was okay. It's a time capsule for me. I still have the pencil skirt from the first episode. That's the one thing I kept. Alrighty. Okay. So again, I'm looking for depth here and I'm not finding any. She kept her skirt, her pencil skirt. Okay, day. So she says, I wake up every morning and take a lot of pride in making breakfast for my family. Mornings are fast. Got to get the kids to school. And yet she made a rainbow fruit thing. So I don't believe her. And again, she has probably nannies to do a lot of the heavy lifting. She has staff to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And she just like, mornings are fast. Like, but how fast? And how, like, she's trying, I think, to appeal to the normal person when we know she's not the normal person. And I always find that a little bit ridiculous. Like, my mornings are fast paced. And she mentioned this too in Canada. We have fast paced mornings. It's so busy. But it's like, but you have everybody to take care of a lot of things for you. In a 14,000 square foot house, houses that are that large are difficult to get around. And what I mean by that is it takes you a long time to get from point A to point B. And depending on where the bedrooms are and everything, it could take you a while to get to the kids, the kitchen, everything. Wouldn't it be so helpful to have staff who can do the other things for you, like get the kids down so you can spend all the time making breakfast so it looks perfect so the kids can eat it. You spend 5 seconds with them and get them off to school. Again, she has no connection to the average parent. And I think this comes across. Although I will say this is pretty common. I find when I'm cooking bacon, my kitchen is immediately full of husbands and 3 dogs. I only have 2 now. It's not my perfume that brings them in. Okay. My bacon brings all the boys to the yard. It's not the perfume. My milkshake, like it's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. It's milkshake is that's it's not referring to perfume, Megan. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. So Harry knows his way around the breakfast was his wife praising him for really making a good breakfast. Didn't Catherine say that about William? She said that about William a couple of years ago. So I actually did a longer video going over the other sneak peek we got of Megan, comparing that to a video we have of Catherine and William. For I don't know what reason. I could not get it through the copyright situation, like took it 24 hours, which is insane on YouTube. So I couldn't include it. I shared it with the members. But one of the things Catherine said is like, he's really good at breakfast. So apparently Harry is good at breakfast too. Do I see a similarity, or is somebody copying somebody? I think so. So Megan recalls her first jobs. Oh, that poor snowflake. And one of them was waitressing, and she recalls the guy, it was really loud, and he's like, "Hey, can I get something, something martini?" And I was like, "I don't know what he's saying." I was like, "I think he's from Texas, and he's asking me for a Cowboy Run martini." And they were like, "We don't have that." So I went back and I was like, "We don't have that." And he's like, "What? You don't have a Ketel One martini?" And I was like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Let's have you go back to being the coat check girl." So apparently she sucked at that. Not surprising. Oh, and so she has to reveal who got the jars of jam. Number 1 went to her mother. And then she said people took it very personally, the hierarchy, she says on the series, adding, anyone who got them, I hope they felt like I wanted to share this with you. But she's like giving you a hierarchy too, which she acknowledges that it was a hierarchy. So that's not a smart move, Meghan Markle. That's not a smart move. That's kind of a dumb move. You were literally telling your friends and family where you rank them on order of importance. That's what she did. So kind of dumb. Kind of dumb. And for some reason, she's obsessed with Guy in this series, but yet in the pictures, it's like she's probably with her other dog that she has in a different article. It's dumb. She's like, Guy has lots of stories to tell. Why do we care about your dog? I don't understand. Like, it would be one thing. You guys have seen my dog Pippa. You've seen her a lot. You've seen her, she broke her leg like a couple months after I started the channel. I share with you guys pictures of her, especially in the members chat, and she comes up for live streams and says hi and stuff. But like, she's not like essential to the story. I'm not like telling you guys she has stories to tell, although she has probably stories to tell of me, like trying to get things together and taking too much time and her getting fussy about it. And so I'm sure she has things to say in her little doggy mind. But why do we care about Guy? She has made no effort for us to connect with Guy at all. Why do we care? That's just kind of dumb. So she talks about her time in Argentina. And I feel like it's so weird because Megan's friends, and granted, they're all alike, where they're probably all self obsessed and then pump each other up with their own self obsession, if that makes sense. And so Nacho's wife, so he's the polo player, his wife Delphina says, after their hike, I guess they hiked on the show, she tells Megan, I enjoyed this morning's hike because I saw you being you. And I love that. I love when you are doing your thing. I'm obsessed with that happy face, M. So happy. That's just vacuous nonsense, in my opinion. That's vacuous. That's dumb. I like you being like you. And I need to tell you to tell everybody else that you being you is awesome. Through that, you can tell Megan's deep insecurity, deep insecurities, that she's wanting people so badly to believe the self delusion she has of herself, that she's constantly trying to reiterate that and trying to get her friends to say the same thing. I love you being you. It's so Hollywood. It's so dumb. Like, be confident in yourself. Don't always care what other people think. Don't always think, oh, I have to be me, being me, being me, being me, being me. It's dumb. I'm sorry. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. It comes from weak-willed people who just can't stand on their own, I guess. I mean, that's all I can think of. It's like, who needs to tell you that? Oh, I enjoy you being you. Just be you. Why do you care what this person says or thinks? It's just dumb. It's so dumb. So dumb. So Flower arranging is her calming ritual. I learned a lot of this when I was pregnant with my son Archie. My girlfriends threw a baby shower for me, and one of the things we did learn was flower arranging. And by the way, it also cost like $250,000 for that nonsense, by the way, which she says, oh, nobody paid for that at all. But Meghan, my taxpayer dollars covered your augmented security apparatus. So yes, my taxpayer dollars did stinking fund your security. So did the UK taxpayer dollars because they had to send the bodyguards with you. Stop lying. So yes, maybe the British monarchy didn't directly support it, but did we all have to bear the costs of your inflated ego? Yes, we did. She's like, I was starting to find this really calming and meditative. So when I have a little bit of time at the end of the day, I do this. I have a glass of wine and I just enjoy it because apparently she doesn't spend time with her kids. I listen to a lot of 70s soft rock and a lot of yacht rock. What is yacht rock? And a lot of soul. And then also French dinner party music. Okay, sounds dumb. And I think most of that's probably a lie. I don't believe that. Another episode, she shares a new hobby. She says, my girlfriends are coming over and we have all started learning Mahjong together in the past few months. We play a version called American Mahjong. What I've really come to love about Mahjong is that the game itself is really fun. But what was so great was the idea of learning something new with your friends together. And then recognizing that Mahjong becomes a background of the expansion of friendship. It's a feeling of community. It's become special for all of us. We're all at such different chapters in our lives. It's amazing to see it's just as meaningful for me as it is for Victoria or Tracy or Jennifer. We all really like it. Well, that's great. I don't even know what Mahjong is, to be quite honest. Yeah. All right. Meghan reveals her love language while showing Daniel Martin how to make a single skillet spaghetti, a recipe she calls a family favorite. What family, Meghan? Don't forget, you have no communication with your father, your half siblings, or your husband's entire family. So what family? Your mother? Congrats. Her pal and makeup artist said, you've always shown your love through food. It's a big love language. She shares the same sentiment in episode 6 titled, The Juice is Worth the Squeeze. I love feeding people. I think it's probably my love language, but not like actually being with people or being nice to people. It's not her love language. Before I was a mom, I loved being able to nurture in that way. Some of my favorite childhood memories are the meals that my mom would make, even though she lived with her dad the majority of her childhood. She'd make a lot of soul food. I remember she'd taken a Thai cooking class. So every week we had Thai barbecue and spring rolls. I remember those flavors well, and I want my kids to have those same formative memories of things that I cook. We call them mama meals. Okay. And those are the ones that I hope come back to when they're older, when they're married and they have their own kids and they go, oh, let's have a mama meal. And it's the same roast chicken I've been making since they were little. So they want a mama meal. They don't want mama, or they don't want to have a relationship with mama. I mean, I understand that food can bring back memories. I totally get that, especially if like my mom comes out with a blast from the past. We have something called chicken croissants, I think, or something. And it's like an old school recipe that we've had for a long time. So like when you bring it back up, it's like, oh, childhood. But do I equate food with my childhood so much that like I want to make mom's cooking? My mom's a fantastic cook, but I'm just not that person, I guess you could say. So I just find that a little ridiculous. Now, some other people, you can have a totally different experience, and I totally get that. But I feel like the weird emphasis she has on food being more important than relationships, I feel like is sort of what she's saying here. And that is it. And by the way, this dress is the one Meghan Markle wore in Canada. It's still available in all sizes, guys, and it's on sale just in case you wanted to know. So the Meghan effect, is it that good? No, I don't think so. So what can we gain from all this? Yes, I'm being a bit sarcastic. I will totally own that. But I just don't get a sense of depth from any of this. I get a sense of a series that's just going to be filled with meaningless anecdotes, vacuous nonsense, and just absolute asinine interactions. It's going to be shallow. It's going to be vapid. It's going to be vain. And I don't think there's a lot of things to get from it. It just doesn't seem to have a lot of like class or dignity or whatever. I don't know. It's just something where I just see this and I just think, oh my gosh, I'm going to feel my brain rotting as I watch it tomorrow. And I'm not looking forward to it. I have watched the Harry and Meghan, the Heart of Invictus, and Polo. So this will be number 4. And they've all suffered from the same things. And I see the indications here. They're boring. They're boring. They're bloated with unnecessary things. and they lack the narrative consistency that it needs to have. Now, this one's different than it doesn't really have, or not really supposed to have much of a narrative, except for I'm Meghan and I need to tell you how great and wonderful and amazing I am. So you know that I'm great, wonderful, and amazing, because apparently nobody knows that I'm great and wonderful and as amazing as I think I am. But I just don't see this being all that successful. Now, again, that could be my own self perception. I tend to like, let's say, true crime that I enjoy. Probably, and I've watched sort of the trash reality TV stuff from time to time, but I watch it for a bit and then I'm like, I'm over it. And it's not something I reach to very often, to be quite honest, because although you can get something, I think, from reality TV, I feel like there's no there. There's nothing deeper. And granted, guys, I watch a lot of dumb stuff too. Like I do. But I think for me, I like to watch things that are entertaining in some way, in some ways challenge things or what have you. I'm just not that interested in an obscenely wealthy woman walking around her obscenely wealthy mansion, telling us how great, wonderful, and amazing she is, and telling us how we need to sprinkle dried flower bits on our fruit in the morning so that even though it's something simple, we don't need to do it, but we still need to do it. Like, Megan, I can figure out things on my own. I don't need somebody to tell me the grass is green and the sky is blue, or that you can make a rainbow with fruit. I could probably have figured that out myself, and most people probably could too. But maybe you will help somebody. I just don't think so. So guys, let me know what you think. Are you planning on watching any of that, or are you just going to watch me react to it? It's going to be interesting. So guys, thank you again so much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye.